passing through from that, all this work is by Keshani Douglas, mostly stunning pastels, a few oil paintings as well. I think it's best if Keshani introduces her work and talks a bit more about your practice and your passion.
Okay, well, thank you for the intro, Alex. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. My name's Keshani Douglas, and I want to firstly welcome and thank you so much for coming along tonight to celebrate, oh my gosh, my first solo show as an emerging artist. So I'm a Wiltshire-based artist, and I was born and grew up in London. So do any of you know Ladbroke Grove or Notting Hill Gate? Yes, right. Well, that's where I was born. So I can literally say I was made in Chelsea. So my focus lies in painting interesting locations and situations, and I like to paint figurative art too. Having grown up in an artistic background, I'm a self-taught artist. What I mean by that is that I'm lucky enough to understand art as second nature, not only because I've grown up with it, but I was also greatly influenced by my late grandfather, Harold Philip Matthews, who was head of the Fine Art Department at Camberwell School of Arts and Crafts in London. Now, living in Maidenhead, Bolter's Lock, he often went painting with famous artist Stanley Spencer, who lived in Cookham. My grandfather was also part of the famous Euston Road group of artists, and he was also friends with other well-known artists of the time, like William Coldstream, Tony Iton, who's still painting at 101, and he's very shortly going to be 102. Richard Urick, who was a war artist, and Victor Passmore, to name but a few. He exhibited regularly, and in particular, two important academies, the Royal Academy, the RA, and the Royal West of England Academy, the RWA in Bristol, both of which hold his works in their private collections, and so do the Arts Council, as well as the Government Art Collection in Westminster. So now more about me. That's a bit of my background and where my art comes from. So I love to paint using oils and acrylics, and I love painting with soft pastels and inks, but of course not all at once. Recently, I also enjoyed working with paper. In fact, I created an abstract paper artwork for the RWA 2025 Paperworks exhibition. I used my own handmade paper, which I'd infused with dried flowers and herbs, and I'd made from recycled packaging. So my work can be impressionistic and also abstract, but it's important for my artwork to feel bold and lively. And I like to focus on colour, movement and vibrancy for a more in-depth result. My compositions can often blur the lines between abstraction and realism, allowing me to build worlds around the subjects of what I'm painting or drawing. I work from two studios, one based in Wiltshire, where I live, and the other based on the island of Gozo near Malta, where I like to travel frequently throughout the year. And both locations really inspire me because they offer unique colours, shapes, textures and light, and it does really excite me and influence my work. So my method. I love painting indoors, outdoors, and also working from photos, and I really love finishing off my artwork in my studios. Whether I paint with soft pastels, oils or acrylics, I use top quality products. I like soft buttery pastels and pastel paper that has a good sandpaper style grip. For oils and acrylics, I use canvas boards, panels and good quality cards, which I like to prime myself to get that smooth finish. I like to layer my paints or pastels, and then I finish and seal with a colour pastel fixing spray or a satin varnish to protect. There's no fixed timeline for my paintings. They're finished when I'm happy with them. So that could take 2 years, 2 months, 2 days, but on a really good day, it will be 2 hours and 2 cups of coffee. My art career so far. I started to professionally paint in 2022, so it's been an exceptionally busy 3 years, and here's why. In 2022, I was lucky enough to be pre-selected by the RA. I was also long-listed for 2 contemporary pieces for the Jackson's Art Prize. Well, I was absolutely thrilled about that, just to get that far, considering how many thousands of people apply. So that same year, while I was painting in Gozo, a Channel 5 production company filming a series called the Madame Blanc Mysteries, they used part of our house for filming. They asked if I could provide some artworks for one of the episodes, so I jumped at the chance and ended up painting 6 large abstract pieces in about 4 days. No pressure, but I loved every minute of it. In fact, that was my first intro into abstract art, and all 6 pieces went on to sell. So this resulted in various commissions on Gozo and here in the UK, and still does. In 2023, I exhibited in the Pastoral Society's annual exhibition at the Mall Galleries in London, and now I'm also listed on the Mall Galleries by Art section. So if you look, you'll find my name. And that same year, I was very honoured to be accepted into the RA Summer Exhibition. I was absolutely delighted to also learn that I'd sold to a London collector by midday on day 1 of Buyers Dealers Day. So as you could imagine, that didn't make my day, it made my whole year. I was then honoured to get into the RWA annual exhibition in Bristol, followed by the Russell Gallery in Putney, where my work exhibited and sold successfully. Then I was invited to become a member of the prestigious Malta Art Society in Valletta, the capital of Malta. Moving on to 2024, I was really thrilled to be accepted by galleries, where I both exhibited and sold. However, most of my time was taken up with commissions, which were both enjoyable and challenging. Commissioned work, the meaning behind my commissions. When I paint commissions, I'm stepping into a story. Commissions are more than just paintings, they're deeply personal and emotional. I take great care to get every detail absolutely right, because my clients trust me as the artist to capture something meaningful. It's about trust, connection and understanding. I've had varied commissions to paint, including abstracts, animals, portraits, landscapes, each with a sentimental story behind it. A cherished pet, a lost loved one, a favourite view. For example, I painted a dear little elderly dog called Cookie, who sadly passed away a few months later. But the owners were so grateful to have his portrait, because it meant it became a way to still be with him and see him. Another client had to move house, and she commissioned me to paint the beautiful countryside view that she was sadly leaving behind. And that painting now hangs pride of place in her new home, allowing her to see the view that she loved again every day. So my commissions never leave my hands until I'm over 100% happy with them. And when I am, that's when I step away from the story. In 2024, I was also honoured to be accepted as an RWA Artist Network member after my artwork and application went through a very tough committee panel. Not everyone is accepted, so I feel very privileged indeed. And one day I hope to follow in my grandfather's footsteps and become an academician too. Fingers crossed. So 2025, and looking ahead this year, so far this year, 2025, as I said earlier, I'm currently in the RWA paperwork exhibition. Exhibited at Green and Stone Gallery on the Fulham Road in February. Holding my first solo show here at Caversham Picture Framers. And have been accepted into the RWA Artist Network exhibition, which is now currently running in Bristol. I have another solo show coming up in Victoria on the capital of Gozo, and that comes up in September. And we'll be exhibiting in Valletta, the capital of Malta, with the Malta Art Society. And then I will return to the Russell Gallery Christmas show in Putney again at the end of the year. I also have some commissions, and who knows what's going to happen in between. Thank you all so much for listening. I feel so privileged to be speaking to you tonight and to be part of this lovely gallery. And a huge thank you to Alex, Lydia and team for all your support. It means so much. And also to Sophie King. Where are you? There you are. Introducing me. Thank you. And I just want to leave you with my artist statement. When I paint, I find myself being drawn into a vacuum of energy, interpretation and expression. I don't specialise in a particular subject matter with my artwork. My art is about interpretation for the moment. If I see something that I want to paint, whether it's in front of me or it could even be in my head, then I do. You've been a fantastic audience. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please just come and find me or come and have a chat on a one-to-one. Thank you.